Heroes and Legends, Dynasties. The age of war was entering its climax. The forces now led by Colinia had beaten their rivals, the Sun Insuran, and only the Clincalow and the occupied Advantage Issue Galaxy and the Guardian and their friendly Closer Galaxy were standing. Guardian King Leonard Roberts knew that time was running out. They knew it would be certain defeat if they faced the Colonia head on. They needed extra strength. And so he had a bold move. He consulted his Grand General Sir Joseph and his son Prince Don John in a secret mission and got Tim, the Green Kichu, and Lufa into a secret mission along with his queen. He announced, "We're going to Clincalow. We're going straight to the heart of their castle and surprise attack. We will capture and defeat the Clincalow and make them our servants." Everyone in the room gasped. And Sir Joseph stood up and slammed his hands on the table and said, "My lord, surely you jest. You can't just go to Clincalow. No one in their right mind goes to Clincalow. You defeat them in the dimensions or when they're invading. You don't go directly to the heart of Clincalow Galaxy and defeat them. My lord, it's suicide." But then Queen Beatrice understood her husband and said, "He is right. The Clincalow will not expect us to do that, and thus we must do it. Between us and Clincalow, if we stand together, we'll be able to withstand the Colonia's advance. Sooner or later, they will recover from their campaign against the Sun Insuran and make their attention here. We must be strong enough to withstand them." Their son agreed. And then Tim Alufa said, "We're ready for war whenever you are." And said, the Grand General then sat down and said, "Well, our soldiers, our officers are ready. We lot will go and let everyone else defend the galaxy in case things go sour. But my lady, my lord, my prince, is it just for all three of you to go? Who will lead our galaxy if something were to happen?" Don Johnson said, "Princess Paige is a princess, and Amma is a former ally of the Guardians of the Dimensions. Certainly her and the island forces can maintain stability in the galaxy. I have faith in her." Everyone then agreed. Listening in was Paige, spying through the keyhole of the door of the secret meeting. She was filled with excitement and glee that she nearly passed out. She prevented herself from making a noise, and she ran away to tell Amma that the prince had trusted her with control of the galaxy. She knew that she was so close and being in there. While this was happening, the Clincalow Council, led by Leno Clincalow and Anasia Clincalow and Anastasia Clincalow and Louis Clincalow, were all chilling. The council had succeeded in their mission. However, they did not expect the rapid exercise of the succession between Omri Manica, Hurin Nebaka, and now Demeter Colonia, and Demeter's finally succeeding to conquer the Sun Insuran. They wondered if they would be next. However, they do not think so. The Colonia are not foolish enough to attack the Clincalow. No one is. The Clincalow know that as long as they remain quiet, they could be saved. Their secret allies, the Bath and others, had already returned within that orbit once more. And so they did not did anything in terms of militarily. Their goal was to stop the Manican. Once the Manican did not rule, then they had achieved the goals of their ancestors. While they was contemplating that, Melka Rowe was still training. Hara Clincalow and the rest of his forces, Sinead Kelly and Lashan and Ian and Anframe, Morant and Rio were all training. Then suddenly, out of hyperspace, a giant cloak ship appeared above Clincalow Castle. Melkoro then took a binoculars and looked. My God, it can't be. The Guardian are here? And then he gave the binoculars to his father. Horror was stunned. That's the royal ship. King Leonard himself is seen attacking Clincalow. I didn't expect His Royal Highness, righteous and true, to attack Clincalow. Men, this is the result of our training. Advance forth, defend the castle. The enemy must not reach the council building. And so the forces of Clincalow and the forces of the Guardian began their showdown. It was an amazing and epic battle. The Guardian forces led a strong and surprise attack. Prince Don John proved his sword skills against Melkoro, and the John General was facing against Morant. Tim was fighting against Antame, and Lufa was using his guns to fight off against Ian and Shane Kelly, and Queen Beatrice was being Lashan. That led King Robert and the King Hara Clincalow to fight. Leonard Hara. I never fought in all my life the guardian of all people would attack Clincalow. You're the last persons I fought will ever do such a thing. What drove you to this madness? Leonard said this is not madness, but strategy. You and I both know it'd be a matter of time for the Colinia and their forces to attack either one of us. I came here not to end Clincalow, but to offer an alliance. We must work together in order to survive the oncoming onslaught. All allies and territories, we can withstand their might. Please understand. And then Harald then continued and replied, and there's movement in the Banquron too. The forces of all aligned, and a final battle is approaching. It seems we entered the climax. All lords in the council had hoped to sit this one out and let the annals of history go forward like our forefathers did after the end of the Second Great War. But unfortunately, we've dug ourselves too deep in this conflict, and we cannot avoid the inevitable. I hear you, Leonard. But however, the Clincalow are not so easily defeated. Come! And so the two kings did battle. While all this was going on, the council was stunned. Impossible. I didn't saw this coming, said Anastasia. Lewis was like, we need to go out there and fight. And then Anastasia said, if we go out there with our forces, we could kill the Guardian and be able to occupy them and their territories. It was up to Leno to decide the Clincalow's next move. Their forces were equal in size and strength. Through their cameras, they heard and saw everything. And they heard Leonard's plan. They were in agreement. It only made sense for the unlikely duo of the Guardian and the Clincalow to work together to survive the Insuran War, as now things were turning ahead. Leonard knew that their time of neutrality was over, and so he made a decree. The forces of Clincalow will join the forces of the Guardian to defend our mutual interests against the Colinia. Hear me, and that is what we should do. With that, The battle was over. King Leonard then got an audience with the council, with Leno and Hara, and the other council members. The two signed agreements sharing their data and the military. The the Guardian Clincalow alliance was formed to combat that of Colinia. Colinia and the Johnson and the Atlan and the Nuwa, the Nubaka and the Commission and the Manica were all stunned. They had never imagined that these two insurance powerhouses would join forces. Certainly, Demeter just smiled. We have grown to such a threat, but unlikely allies have formed. We are indeed changing history. Now come, one more battle is needed. We'll crush the Guardian Clincalow and usher in a new age. For all those that died before us, we will succeed. And so, the final battle was about to begin for the fate of all insurance space.